Hi, in the previous video, we saw cost minimization, that is cost efficiency, where all the inputs were variable. Now, in the short run, it is not always possible to change all the inputs. So some inputs or at least one input is fixed in short run. And when at least one input is fixed in short run, uh, we use cost efficiency, or we use this version of data envelopment analysis with quasi-fixed inputs, okay, where at least one input is fixed in the short run. In the long run, everything is variable, but in short run, at least one is fixed, one input is fixed and one is variable. We continue with our same example where we had observations, one output kilowatt hour and three input labor, fuel and capital, and we are having prices of labor, fuel and capital. Here we would assume that capital is fixed in the short run. It means you can't really optimize the quantities of capital. You can only tweak the quantities of labor and fuel using DEA. So let us see how we can do this in Excel. First, I find actual cost. Actual cost is some product of quantities of input and prices of input. This is actual cost for form number 1. We need weights. We set the weights to 0. Let us see the LP, linear programming. So the DA problem for variable cost minimization. Here we minimize only the variable cost, is minimize sigma n running from n minus 1 running from I to 1. Minus 1 because at least one input is fixed. For us, it is capital. WIXI, prices into inputs which are variable. So we need to minimize the variable cost subject to constraint lambda j xij less than equal to xij. This is for the variable inputs. This xi is the same as the xi in objective function. Lambda j kj less than equal to k0. This is the fixed input. We need to weight, the sum of weights into quantity of fixed input should be less than equal to quantity of fixed input for form under observation, and sigma lambda j yRj is greater than equal to y0, output of form under observation. Sum of lambda should be equal to 1, and lambdas are, or the weights are, non-negative. Only difference here is this constraint where one of the input, for us it is capital, is fixed. So let us see in Excel. Say we are doing for unit number 18. Let me copy the headings so that we can formulate the left hand side and right hand side of the constraint. Left hand side is some product of output and lambda weights. We press F4 so that it becomes fixed and we can drag it. Okay. This is simple. Some product of labor and lambda, some product of fuel and lambda weights, and so on. Right hand side for output. For output, here we use index command, select array of output and specify unit. Here it is unit number 18. Okay, because here output under observation is y0. We don't multiply it with anything. We just take the output of form under observation. Labor and fuel are variable. So I highlight this 2 cells because these are our solution variables. These are the xi's in our objective function. Let us set the initial values to 0. You can take any value. and capital here is fixed. So we cannot change capital in short run. So capital, I select the array of capital using index command and specify which unit to look at, unit number 18. So this is capital of firm under observation. I also write prices here. We are price taker. I use index command. Prices are for input. So we go to input prices. Okay. Use index function. Index prices of labor array and specify unit number. Okay, I press F4 so that unit number is fixed and we can drag it across. Okay. Now our objective function is to minimize variable cost. We also need sum of lambdas is equal to sum of the array of lambda weights and variable cost. This is our objective function where we need to minimize variable cost is equal to sum product of variable input and prices. Sum product of variable inputs and prices. So we have set the entire function, the entire ingredients for solving the linear programming. Okay, so let us go to objective function. Our objective function is variable cost. Minimize variable cost by changing the cells. Select lambda, you can change the lambda, and you can only change labor and fuel, only these two. Add constraints. The first constraint is output. Left hand side should be greater than equal to right hand side. Add. For inputs, select all the array. Left hand side should be less than equal to the array of right hand side. Add. Sum of weights should be equal to 1. Click on OK. These are the three. Okay, so this fixed capital we have already incorporated along with all the inputs. So we have these three constraints. Select simplex linear programming and solve. Now when you solve this, okay, let us first solve this. So minimum variable cost is 36,139 for firm number 18. This is variable cost after minimization. Okay. Now what you can do here is really go to solver, click on solve, and when you get this solver results, click on sensitivity and OK. So a sensitivity report would be generated. And if you look down on go down on sensitivity report, you can see here shadow price. Okay. Let us look for some another unit. Say let us look for unit number 85. Okay. Go to solver and solve and click on sensitivity. Click on OK. A sensitivity report is generated. If you look at this sensitivity report, there is shadow price for capital minus 620. This 620 is shadow price or opportunity cost. Okay, so if opportunity cost or shadow price, you need to compare it with the price of capital, the price of using or not using. For example, if the price of capital is 73.39 and the shadow price or the opportunity cost for 1 unit of capital is 620, that is opportunity cost or shadow price is greater than the price of capital, it means that the firm is underutilizing its capital. Okay, so let me write here if shadow price is greater than, say, price of capital. Your shadow price, if you look at sensitivity report, shadow price is 620 and the price of capital is 73. So firm is underutilizing its capital. Okay. Let us look for, say, another unit, say firm number 50. In unit, I change firm 50, go to solver, solve, click on sensitivity and OK. So a report for sensitivity would be generated for firm number 50, where you look at shadow price for capital is 0. So when shadow price is 0, so what happens? Shadow price is less than price of capital. It means firm is overutilizing capital. So if shadow price is less than price of capital, then the firm is overutilizing its fixed capital. Okay. So this is how you can generate sensitivity reports. Look at shadow price, which is opportunity cost for using extra unit of capital. Thank you.